Okay, Senator, we're ready to start.
I was just in a box.
Okay, thank you. Okay, we're gabbling in here in chaos, Big Island. We're convening a 3 o'clock agenda of the Committee on Human Services. And this is a decision-making only agenda for HB 1978 HD1 relating to special immigrant juvenile status. And this specifies that the family court has jurisdiction in proceedings concerning the custody or guardianship of an immigrant child pursuant to a motion for special immigrant juvenile factual findings. We heard this bill a few weeks ago before we recessed, and we scheduled the decision making for a few months ago. So here we are, and I'm happy to entertain any discussion from the members. Thank you all for being here, by the way. Thank you very much. Aloha, everybody. Any discussion? I'm sorry, the recommendation will be to pass as is. Pardon me for omitting that.
As is with the penitential.
No, this is a different bill, special immigrant juvenile status.
Oh, yeah, that one, okay.
Juvenile bill.
1978.
Okay, thank you. Good.
Any discussion? If not, recommendation, forgive me, you guys, if I'm not hearing anybody, please make me aware of it. I'm not trying to speak over anyone. The recommendation is to pass as is for HB 1978.
Chair's recommendation on HB 1978 is to pass as is. Chair Ruderman.
Aye.
I'll vote yes. Senator Ihara. Aye. Senator Riviere.
Aye.
Senator Favela.
Aye.
Recommendations adopted.
Thank you. That's it for this agenda. We do have another agenda starting in 2 minutes. I'm sorry, I hope we could go straight into it. So gaveling out, we're back in at 3:05 for the other bill on child abuse reporting. We're back all ready to go? Everybody? All right. Gabbling back in to Human Services for our 3:05 agenda. This is our more challenging bill, HB 1942 HD2, relating to child abuse reporting. This adds members of the clergy, commercial computer technicians, and commercial film and photographic print or image processors to the categories of persons who are required to report child abuse and neglect to DHS or police. Provides a safe harbor through the end of this year for reporting of clergy by clergy of known or suspected child abuse that was previously unreported and did not arise during a penitential communication. Forgive me, that's in the description. That's not in the currently proposed version of the bill, that last sentence. So my inclination is to recommend that we pass the proposed SD1 that was provided to us by the Department of Human Services on June 21st, just before our hearing the other day, as is, and I'm interested in entertaining any discussion.
You can say as is, as HB2?
No.
I'm sorry, I'm talking about amending the bill to the version, to the Department of Human Services version in their testimony. So proposed SD1.
Right. So just for clarity's sake, so that's no exemption for knowledge acquired, no exemption for penitential communications at all, yeah?
That's correct.
Just so I know what I'm.
Thank you.
This is the same bill.
And I'll point out that this bill goes on to judiciary after this for any final that may be necessary.
Yeah, Chair, this is Leslie Hara.
Yes, hi, Les.
Wrote with reservations. I would and would like to actually request consideration putting in the committee report if it passes. I prefer as mindful and compassionate approach to piercing the right now solid wall of secrecy in a confession. I'm not a Catholic, but from what I read. And that it be done in a way that the U.S. Supreme Court could, in this instance, which is for child abuse and neglect. And basically, we are asking the clergy to decide whether it is child abuse or not. One thought would be in the future, where is a report where it's not making an assessment that it is or not, and then let the police decide, I'm not sure exactly how to approach this, but to me, I believe that religious organizations, churches, pillars in our community are encouraged to and have a right to participate in civic democracy. Eventually, I believe that the civic values should prevail over religious values that harm civic values. In this case, it's child abuse, and I'm not. I believe, and I would like to have this bill be improved in the next committee, which I believe that's the intent. And so, for that reason, I'm going to vote for it with reservations.
And let me, please forgive me, members. Because of the new format, I failed to recess for decision-making offline discussion. That was my mistake. We can continue our public discussion, or if you'd like to recess for offline decision-making discussion, as we usually do, I can have my staff call me and we can discuss this offline. What's your preference, members?
I don't need to recess. It's fine with me to go ahead and vote, and we can just say what we want.
If nobody needs to recess, we'll just have a public discussion. I want to give it that option though, okay? Anyone else want to speak?
Yeah, thank you, Chair. This is Skill. We've talked about this back and forth, and for the reasons previously stated, I cannot support it if it's going to require clergy in all cases to step forward, even including, something that was revealed in confession, which is of the greatest importance, I think, within the many faiths. So I'll be voting in opposition to this, as you're suggesting to amend it. Thank you.
Chair, just to go back to what I mentioned, is what you're proposing has a defective date, right?
Yes.
So it does have a defective date, what you're proposing, if it passes?
I would like to confirm that with my staff. I don't.
The guarantee is. We can put a defective date on it if you want. That's fine.
I would require it in order to have my vote.
Okay. We'll make sure that it's an effective date and point that out to the next committee, which, by the way, I meant to mention on the previous bill too. They'll have to fix the date. Okay, Senator Favela, anything you wanted to add?
I'll be voting no too, for the same reasons. There's this thing, sanctity of confession, and I truly believe that we gotta have that kind of protection, and having people feel comfortable with, this version. I can't support this version.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. Thank you very much, members. My recommendation remains to pass the version provided to us by DHS, which does not have the penitentiary exclusion. I feel that the top concern here is protecting children from abuse. I realize there are competing concerns, and there's many voices, And we've actually, my office, we have listened to many voices over the last bit of time and heard them all very seriously. I think the version in DHS testimony, I don't always agree with the departments, except when they're right. And in this case, I think they're right in that I agree with them. There are many that are concerned about protecting our clergy and our religious processes, and I share that concern. But that concern does not rise to the point of hiding child abuse to me. And I believe the higher concern here in our Human Services Committee is protecting the children. I understand there's legal concerns that must be considered, and I trust the Judiciary Committee to take care of those legal concerns as best we can. But for the Human Services concern, I want to protect the children, and nothing else rises above that concern. So thank you for entertaining that, and the recommendation will be to pass with amendments.
So can we put a bad date on it? Do you mind if we put a bad date on it?
Please put a bad date on it. Vice Chair, would you pick a date for me?
January 1, 2050?
Yeah.
Is that okay?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Okay, the chair's recommendation on HB 1942 is to pass with amendments. Chair Ruderman.
Aye.
I'll vote yes. Senator Ihara?
Aye with reservations.
Reservations. Senator Rivieres?
No.
No. Senator Pavella?
No.
No. Your recommendation's adopted.
Thank you very much, members. I appreciate it. Mahalo. See you soon. Aloha. We're adjourned. Thank you, everybody.